Good morning, YouTube family. It's Andrea here at VW Family Farm. It is incredibly windy out here. I was hoping today to show y'all putting in the back garden. We've got ground cover to put down. We've got lots of beautiful plants to go in there. More seeds I want to sow. But let me show you the current situation. We are back to mud. And if you look over there past the tractor, that's the back garden. It's flooded. So that will have to wait for another day. Not gonna happen today, just too wet. But I have actually been taking this week to rest a bit. I've done a little bit more sleeping than I normally would, just because there's times, I don't know about y'all, but I hit what I call a wall and my body says, you've done too much, you are going to rest. And I've kind of been there the last couple days. Maybe I'm the only one, but sometimes I tend to work myself to the brink trying to get everything done, and then I just have to take a step back. So these rainy days, these last couple days probably came at a good time. So we deal with the mud, that's what we do. But Lane and I are about to go out, make a bigger paddock for my milk cows. They need some more grass. Go check the cows because we had a big lightning storm last night. I'm hoping that everything's okay back there. Feed the chickens at the cluck wagon. We got to go across the road and check the limping cow from a few weeks ago. Give her a check. She's doing okay. We wound up medicating her and spraying her foot again. But I don't know how that's going to turn out. We're just trying to keep a close eye on her. Plus we got a new baby over there I want to show you. So let's get going. So we had let the milk cows out of their pasture into our farm side road that you always see us using when we're working the beef cows, because that gets a little growed up and it gave them a little more grazing. So now also out of that road comes out into where the beef cows graze, that way. So we actually gave them a little section out here, but you can see this little guy right here. He's an escape artist. He got out of the paddock. And they need some more grass. So Lane and I are going to extend their paddock out here and just let them graze a little bit more out into the beef area. But they can still get back to their gate and to their barn when I call them to milk them a little bit later. So anyway, that's what we're going to do first. We're going to set this up, try to get this guy back in. Isn't he pretty? He is a big looking dude. He was born last summer. I had to actually pull him. He was born to Josie. He was so big, and she's one of my smaller milk cows, and he has just grown like crazy. He's only about 10 months old, and he is a big guy. So he is actually going to our friends over at Roots and Refuge for beef for them later this fall. So he is about to get steered and moved out into the beef herd to graze on all the lush grass that our beef cows get to graze on all summer. And so hopefully he'll grow off really big and beefy for them. So that's the plan for him. Lane and I are about to get to work and get these girls and guys on some more grass. You are so pretty. Yes, you are. One thing I've had a few comments on lately that I don't always address comments. In fact, I don't do it very often at all. But is people commenting, how can you raise these animals and then eat them? And I know that probably does seem strange, especially if you buy your meat in the grocery store. You never, in a sense, put a face with your food. And I'm not going to say it's easy. It's just, if you are going to be a meat eater, it's something that I encourage you to do, is raise some type of meat. Because no matter where you're buying your food, someone had to raise that. So that's how I deal with it. I just, when they talk about getting closer to your food, meaning break some of those connections of where you're getting your groceries, then it's just part of it. It's just part of where your food comes from. And if you always shelter yourself from that, as well as sheltering your kids from that, I don't think people are doing themselves any favors just to put it out of their mind. It's just, if you're going to be a meat eater, you have to realize where meat comes from, I guess, is my take on it. This is our our lazy man's way of putting up the reel.
It's a lot easier.
All right, so now they can go to right there where that splits our beef cow grazing in 2 different long sections that then we divide into paddocks. They can go from there all the way to down there. This is gonna be probably as big or bigger than their whole pasture they're in now. Woo! Come on, girls. Come on. We got him kind of trapped. Go on, girls. Go on. All right, we got them all out into fresh grass. We actually had another little calf over behind me that had got out. The hot wire was not hot on one side of their pen, and they had figured that out and got out. My milk cows are not as respectful of hot wires because they're behind barbed wire. So Lane is hooking up a hot wire and they've lost their privileges, so they're behind hot wire now. But they've got a lot of grazing, so they've got it made. Here's the hungry ladies. They said, "What you got, Lane?" Now's the time to go in. When you get a clear path, you run. Now you keep running. Keep running. Oh, you're stuck. Looks like I need to freshen the hay a bit. The ones on top are pretty clean, but I got some dirty ones down in there, so that's why I know it's time to do it.
And the cows need to be moved.
Alright, first things to move the cows is what, Lane?
A rail and some steak thingies.
No, we just drove all the way from over there taking down stakes. This is an old paddock they were in a few days ago. Lane is reeling this.
It's not easy.
Look at that Gallagher reel fly. But it will give you a workout. Any kind of reel will give you
Works as good as the muscles doing it.
That's right. But anyway, so we pulled up the stakes. He's reeling that up. They've already got a line. You can see them down there over the hill waiting. They've already got a wire up to go into the next paddock, but we always set up the next paddock as well. So for one, so they're ready to move when we get down here, and two, so that if somebody gets out, they're still behind at least another wire. So we're gonna go set that up and move these girls. Seeing the Gallagher reel reminded me, if y'all are interested in anything from Gallagher, they have some really great products, really quality products. It's kind of one of those deals you get what you pay for, and their stuff is really good quality and durable. But we have a discount code, so if you decide to buy anything, they've come out with their new electric fence netting, which is what our chickens are behind. It's done a really great job of keeping them in and predators out. We have one chicken that can fly over it, but it has kept the whole entire rest of the flock in. The only reason she can get out is because for somehow she can fly completely over it. Even with our chickens, mostly all have their wings clipped, so she might need hers clipped again. But it's done a really great job of keeping predators out, which is what you want for your chicken flock. But if you're interested in anything from Gallagher, use VWFF 10. That will get you 10% off and save you a little cash, so don't forget that. These girls know Lane. They know when he comes down here, that means more food. And he was really smart and set this water trough up, so all he's got to do is move that wire over here, and now it's in the new paddock, so we don't have to move that. It's a pretty smart cookie. And they know what to do. It's hilarious to me. Animals are so smart. We got some patchy fur on some of them. They've been rubbing on some trees and stuff. Shedding their winter coat, but they are looking fat and sassy. There goes Butter. So we got the cows in here, we got the minerals in here, they've got water. We're just gonna count them because that pen back there was the end of our field, and then beyond that there's no fences, so we definitely don't want to leave anybody back there and them realize they're by themselves and get out the back. So we're just gonna count just to be safe. Normally we just go around and look, but that paddock has several little patches of woods that they could be up in, so we'd just feel better if we counted and got the right number. So, and y'all know I love to count, so let's get to it. Look at that pretty sight. That is a dream come true, literally. We got the right number. Look at that blue sky trying to peek through. All right, Lane is fixing up the last fence before this job is finished. And I just wanted to talk to y'all for just a second. But a thought that had struck me that I wanted to share with you guys is I've seen a lot of posts on social media and different places, videos about people struggling now that their kids are home all the time. And I totally get that. I understand where you're coming from. If you're used to your kids going to school and you do your thing and all that, it is quite a shock to start homeschooling. But my thing I wanted to share with you is this isn't homeschooling. What everyone is doing right now with public schools being out and all kinds of schools being closed and shut down, that's not homeschooling. Homeschooling is so much more beautiful than that and so much more enjoyable. Homeschooling is so much more than just sitting at home doing schoolwork. Homeschooling is doing things like we're doing today. Lane is actually skipping math today because we're out doing things with the cows. He will get that math done, I promise. And also, homeschooling is if you're struggling with something, you don't move on. You stay on that thing until the child feels confident, and you quit that. Until they feel confident and they get the concept and it's not a struggle for them. And that builds so much confidence, because in life, if something's difficult, you don't just push past it and just move on even when you don't understand it. You keep on until you do. Homeschooling is not staying home all the time. Homeschooling is field trips and friends and getting together and having classes with other homeschoolers and other non-homeschoolers for that matter. It's not sitting at home isolated and quarantined all the time. That's not homeschooling in this day and time. Homeschooling is when you decide to ditch the books and go do something fun and educational with your friends and learn in a different setting other than sitting at the table or in a classroom. So I just wanted to put that out there to say, if you've been wanting to homeschool and now during this time of quarantine and all that, you're like, I don't know about that. Just take heart that it's so much more than that. It's getting up in the mornings and knowing that your kids are safe under your roof and that you get the joy and pleasure of spending all day, every day with them, because it's not a burden. I know a lot of the things that are out there are just to be funny and people begging the teachers to take the kids back. I know a lot of those are meant to be funny, but I hope and pray that you enjoy your children, because they're only kids for a very short amount of time. The majority of their life is not spent under your roof and as kids and teenagers. The majority of their life is spent as adults. So I just hope if it's something that has been planted in your heart, because I do believe it is a calling, that don't judge whether or not you want to do it based on how school has been during this time, because it's so very much more than that. Here is the limper. She's still limping, but if you watch the videos from earlier, she wasn't even hardly using her leg at all, and now she is. She's up and around, she's grazing. That's a great sign. We're just trying to do everything we can for her. We've gotten her up a couple times trying to doctor her. Turns out, looks like maybe some dogs ran her through a fence and tangled her leg up in barbed wire. So we're just trying to nurse her back to health. You can see all the cute little babies over here doing good. So before we can leave over here, the last thing we got to do is, this is the mama that calved yesterday. And you can see how full of a bag she has. We got to find this thing and make sure it looks okay and looks like it's nursed. She's telling me to back off. There they go, off together. And he does look like he's nursed. He's walked a long way from way over at those woods over there over to here. He got up just fine, has plenty of energy. He's pooped, so that's always a good sign that they're nursing. And so they look pretty good. So we are wrapping this up. Lane and I have done a full day's work. Emily's been inside working while we've been doing all this. It all turned out well.
Yep.
Got the cows moved. Everybody's on fresh grass. It's a good day. It's a really nice day too. So I hope you're enjoying this weather. I hope it's nice where you are. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching. God bless.